What's going on at Manchester United for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? With the form deteriorating in recent weeks, coinciding of course with his announcement as permanent manager, is it crazy to ask whether the honeymoon is over? Was there a honeymoon and has it now ended?
Yes, there's a honeymoon. Like all new managers, there's usually a period of time where, regardless of what happens, you can get away with it. I would suggest that his honeymoon isn't going to end till the end of the season. You know, I think they were in sixth when he took over. They're now in sixth. They're on a terrible run, and I'm not quite sure. I see it breaking. I'm not sure how they get out of it. So I think regardless of what happens between now and the end of the season, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, regardless, is going to be fine. The pressure is going to start on him, which I guess that means you would say his honeymoon will be over when the season starts next year, the first game, the first whistle. That's when the real pressure will build on him. Because right now, they've just given him the job. There's no way he loses his job, and that means that it's still a honeymoon.
It's a crazy situation, isn't it? Because the press were all clamouring, the media, all clamouring for him to be appointed and given the permanent job. He's given the permanent job, and now you've got people in the midst of this losing run, which is, I think, 4 games now out of the last 5 that they've actually lost. You've got people clamouring for him. Well, they should have just said, announced it till the end of the season, perhaps, and then maybe reassessed it all. You can't win either way. So really, internally, what's he got to concentrate on with regards to getting the players kind of G'd up and out of this little slump?
I think, listen, at the end of the day, sometimes you aren't going to win because you don't have the players. You know, the truth is Manchester United don't have a fantastic starting 11. They've got some talent, yes, but I mean, you look at the back line in particular. I mean, that's an accident waiting to happen every time they step on the field. And so, you know, that for me, that's why they're losing games. It's not what they do going forward. Going forward, they look dangerous, particularly with Rashford. I mean, Rashford's been a sensation since Ole came. So I think United have looked at what happened before Ole and looked at the difference. And he's proved to them that he can handle players. He's proved to them that he can get the best out of players. But when the players are not world class, that can only last for so long, because players get classed as world class because they are able to step on the field and perform at a certain level every single time. A good coach can get things out of players who are not quite as good, not all of the time, but Ole showed he could do it for a period. So I think if you're United, you're looking at Ole going, right, we know that if we can get him better players, we know that he can motivate them. We know that he can organise them. They've shown it in games since he came. So I think that's why they've given him the job. Plus, everything Ole says, everything Ole does, reflects well on Man United. He says the right things. He gives the right positive message about what he expects from his team and what he expects from Manchester United. So everything Ole has done has actually been really good, and it's very difficult to criticise an awful lot of what he's put not only to his team but to his supporters and his board. So it's about better players, then we will find out what Ole's really all about.
Yeah. Is the Pogbas situation playing a part in this with regards to a little bit of a slump? Would it solve
I don't
things?
think so.
If he came out though, if the player came out and said, I'm very, very happy at Manchester United, we're all together as a team. If he just came out with that to put the latest rumours aside, would that help the team in any way?
Well, any player with any brains would have said that. But, you know, today is a different animal. Players are a different animal now. Players don't answer with sensible replies like that one. I'm happy. I want to stay here and I want to do well for my club. Players these days, they just open their mouth and let their belly rumble. But I don't think this has been unsettling for Manchester United. I really do just think that the problems they're having is because from 1 to 11, they're not the greatest. And certainly Pogba, when Pogba's great, everybody lashes praise all over him. When he's not so great, everybody jumps on him. You know, the one thing I can tell you is that Pogba is given 100%. And that's all you can ask for. Yes, you want the ability, you want the goals, you want all the good stuff. But when somebody's giving you, as a coach, 100%, you ain't going to pick on them.
So with the Barcelona return leg to come, They've not lost at home in the Champions League for 6 years, by the
Yep.
way. You've got Everton away, but before all that you've got the derby, and you've got West Ham at home. With the race for the top 4, for you at the moment, are Manchester United going to make it? Are they going to pick up?
If you'd asked me this 3 weeks ago, I would have said yes, they would make it. But there's been so much turmoil with this top 4, or should I say, other than Liverpool and Manchester City, every other team seems to go through a period where they're finding a way to get out the top 4. And it's very difficult to predict what's going to happen because, you know, again, 3 weeks ago, Chelsea, I would have said not a chance. All of a sudden, Sarri's picking the right team. He's playing the young guys, your Loftus-Cheeks and your Hudson-Odois, and they're looking like a proper team again. Hazard's on fire. So for me, they've gone from having it's not happening to they're ahead of everybody else, maybe. Spurs, I mean, what's happened to them? My goodness, but they have a good run in. They have plenty of home games. Yes, they've lost Harry Kane, but I still think they can deal with that. So Arsenal, I don't know what I'm getting from Arsenal every time they step on the field. So it's very difficult to try and predict the top 4. I will predict the top 3 though, and that will be Liverpool, City, Tottenham. After that, that's a tough one.
And you have a home win for Manchester United against West Ham?
Yes.
All right, so a chance for them to get back to winning ways against the Hammers at the weekend. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer maybe, just maybe, able to pull it out of the hat once again as he rides out this crest of a little bit of a bump in his honeymoon.